Salutations everybody, it is Matty here today, and welcome to the Elder Scrolls 6 Wishlist series, a series designed to help dictate the future of the Elder Scrolls franchise. So be sure to come here every Thursday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and place your thoughts on the Elder Scrolls franchise in the comments down below on where we should go, what should stay, what should be cut, what needs to change. So today we are talking about the settlement mode. This is something that was introduced technically in Skyrim with the Hearthfire DLC, but was fully implemented in Fallout 4 as a mechanic, and there's been a lot of division amongst the community on whether or not this is something that should stay, should be worked on, and so I have a lot of comments today to feature exactly how I'd say everyone in the community is feeling. So let's start off with Otter Insanity, who says, some type of settlement system. I know not a lot of people liked Fallout 4 settlement system, but most people did, and it made the character feel like they had an impact in the world. For this system, I'm imagining conquering a fortress and claiming it for a faction. Bethesda should take note from the modders and make a system based on one of the Skyrim most famous mods, which is Helgen Reborn. Now I agree, Bethesda should always take inspiration from the modders. That's very important because they're some of the best creators when it comes to Bethesda game studios or even Obsidian games. But that's the point right there, is the type of settlement system, because yes, I know it's a very vocal opinion that everyone hates the settlement system, but to be honest, a lot of people did like it. I've said before I like it, I just didn't like the DLC. I didn't like the overkill of the settlement and the lack of innovation in that exact system. A settlement system in a Bethesda Game Studios game can work very well if implemented properly, because here's the thing, is that Fallout 4, I remember specifically before launch, everyone was so happy about the settlement system. I'm not going to sit here and lie to myself and pretend that I didn't want it. I'm not going to sit here and lie and say, oh, this is a horrible idea from the start, because I see a lot of people in the community saying, oh my gosh, man, this is such a bad idea from the start. And I'm sitting here thinking, we've been requesting a city feature or a create your own town feature. That's what it was originally called before the settlement mode was introduced, and when it was, a lot of people were excited, a lot of people were intrigued. The issue with the settlement system in Fallout 4 was really the fact that it took too much focus away from the game. And that's exactly what Lord Darkforce says, just a better settlement system that doesn't take over the game. Bethesda, we like the settlement system in Fallout 4. It's not that it was necessarily bad, it's just that it took away the focus on what made your games special. We go into these games for the world, for the towns, for the diverse characters, and the settlement system stripped from that. Like I've suggested many times in the past, to the point where I think my consistent viewers are going to flip the hell out on me, I'd say that you have a special settler for each settlement that has its own quest line, that brings in new settlers and makes the town its own unique place, making it feel like you're actually having an impact on the world, but there are these special, well-written, exciting characters that help develop the town you're creating. Now in Fallout, it does make more sense to have a settlement system because you're rebuilding the wasteland, you're helping bring change about and trying to get things on track. But with Elder Scrolls, I think it could also work in the sense of how Otter Insanity pitched the idea of taking over a fortress and perhaps setting up defenses and making it a place where people can come and live in safety from whatever's happening in whatever part of Tamriel we are in. Or just exactly how Hearthfire was, building your own home out somewhere in the woods and decorating it and having fun in that way. Something simple like that. It doesn't have to be this huge mechanic, because what it should have done is taken the route like Bethesda originally said, which was optional. Settlement system played into the main story, it took a big focus away from the main game. It really was optional, yes, but it also wasn't optional. And so that's the thing, is that if you make a settlement system in Elder Scrolls 6 actually optional, something that's fun, that I don't feel like questing, I don't want to explore, I don't want to go killing stuff in dungeons, I'm gonna go build some stuff. And that's exactly what you could do with this optional feature, and that's the key right there. Justin Reed adds on and says, I just hope they don't go overboard with the settlements. 4 settlements would be enough if you could make them large and actually have a purpose. I hated how in Fallout 4 the settlement system was so big the cities and towns sucked, since there was only 2 notable ones, which I'm assuming he's referring to Good Neighbor and Diamond City. Settlers also shouldn't be generic NPCs who can't do anything without your help. They should have their own identity and have a purpose in the world. I agree, something as simple as a June Long or a Marcy Long, I know we always hate on them, but something simple like that, where they don't have to have their own conversation trees where we're talking to every single one, but just little personality quirks here and there to make these people, not just settler, or giving us the ability to rename them, to customize them. Stuff like this would work out very well in making a settlement mode work in a Bethesda Game Studios game. But as you can see, the point I selected for all 3 of these comments was because the consensus is that always that let's have a settlement mode, let's just not have it take away from what I play Bethesda Game Studios games for. We play them for the adventure, we play them all for our own reasons, to be honest, but most of us play them for the adventure, we play them for the quests, the characters, thrill of exploration, not for settlement building that is similar to something like Minecraft. What I've noticed with very good open world games is that mechanics overlap in a natural fashion that don't leech off each other and take away from the overall product, but are their own living entities that are attractive to dive into on their own. The issue with the settlements in Fallout 4 is that it looped over into the town system that all Bethesda Game Studios games had, where it made every area you entered either a shooting gallery or a place that had no substantial characters whatsoever, thus removing a key portion of an open world game and leaving a giant gaping hole in the product. See, what's special about the settlement system in a Bethesda Game Studios game is because it can add player creation and control into one of the best things about a Bethesda Game Studios game, where we can have influence over all the random NPCs that we love bumping into and listening in on their conversations. We can have influence over the town they live in and creating something special that they can move around in and live in. The way I view the ideal settlement system is, okay, you start off with your basic 5 people in a settlement. You gradually build up like you would in Fallout 4. As your settlement becomes more and more appealing, special settlers are going to move in. Ones with quests. Obviously, they're going to be unique, they're going to give you special things, and they're going to make your settlement more appealing and add a more diverse story to it, where perhaps there's landmarks in these settlements that you're creating, and these landmarks actually have a story behind them, and it gives the town you're in, or the city you're in, some type of backstory to fulfill that place, so it's not just some random garden, some random farm you're on. It's actually a place that has a past, and that can be brought to life, and I think that's important as well. So those are just my basic thoughts on the settlement system, as well as some of yours out there. This is one of the shorter Elder Scrolls 6 wishlist series, but this is one that I didn't want to stretch out too thin. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, as always, in the comments down below. So get to posting so you can be featured in this series on how we can help change the Elder Scrolls universe. Other than that, be sure to follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook. The links are, as always, in the description down below. Check out triggerbomb.com, the place by Bethesda fans for Bethesda fans. Other than that, stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.